Okay, let's get started. Hari Hari. So great to see you, Azusa. It's wonderful to be here in Independence Square in this beautiful Colombo morning, and I must say it's great to be out of the office. So
Absolutely, yes.
so great to be here with you this morning, and we're having these conversations about the priorities of the country, but also how the UN is supporting them, and so we thought of this morning discussing this issue of anti-corruption. So this was obviously a major grievance during the crisis in 2022, and in great part, the new government came into power uh, with anti-corruption at the heart of its manifesto. And so I wanted to hear a bit from you. Why is, in your view, anti-corruption so important for Sri Lanka's development, for Sri Lanka's future? Why is it so important?
Well, I think first of all, it's very clear there's an economic argument, right? When corruption is there, there's missed opportunity. Money that could have been invested in social economic development for people, it's going somewhere. So it's a wasted resources. But I think it's ultimately about building trust amongst the people and institutions. Right after the crisis, we did a survey with the government to see how we can encourage people to pay more taxes. One of the reform agendas was also to
indicator of trust between people.
absolutely. And the people unanimously said that it's not like they don't want to pay taxes, but they want to make sure money goes to the right places for the people. And also people who are not paying the taxes are held accountable. So again, corruption is the heart of this trust issue. And unless we have a solid foundation of trust between people and the state, we can't build a peaceful society. So I think as the UN's agency working on governance, this is really at the heart of reform agenda.
The challenge with corruption, I mean, it is a challenge in every country. In your experience, in the experience of UNDP, I mean, where do you see the priorities for tackling corruption in Sri Lanka? Do you start by, is it the public procurement? Is it the everyday corruption, when you're asked for a small bribe to process a driver's license? Yeah. How do you tackle this? And because part of it is to show results, so it builds more trust. Where do you see the priorities for the government?
Mm. Well, it's a complex question because there's no silver bullet. Corruption cannot be tackled by one agency. So we see it as more a comprehensive set of activities. Working with Siabok is one, but working with the society to nurture a culture of integrity so the corruption doesn't take place from the people who are asking for bribery and receiving for bribery. You have to tackle both sides, right? Then we have to work also with judiciary, justice systems so that the cases will be handled with speed and quality. We also work a lot on digitalization of service provision by removing human hands from the processes, right? Obviously, the room for corruption will be reduced. But also, again, going back to trust building, when people see that their right for services is upheld, people start becoming more heard, respected, and valued as a member of the society. That's also part of creating a culture of integrity, and that is very needed for fighting corruption as a society. So we take a more holistic societal approach, and that requires us to be working with wide range of stakeholders. And it's not easy, it's a process, but I have to commend that we're seeing very encouraging signs of progress in the right direction.
And there's a bit of a contradiction I've seen in other countries where the measures that are the most visible often have the least impact on the savings and the waste. Meaning, everyday small corruption
Yeah.
might be very visible to citizens, but it won't save a lot of money. While the larger institutional change on procurement, on large things that will have a big impact on the savings, on the reduction of corruption, will take years to implement. Yeah, so there's a bit of a, you're saying both things need to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. And so you started speaking a little bit about the UN's role. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's limited resources, and what have we been focusing on as the UN in Sri Lanka, as UNDP? What has been your focus and your role in tackling, in helping the government and the country tackle corruption?
As I said, our work with Seabok has really grown, but digitalization has been at the heart of everything we do. This is something we do with the Digital Economy Ministry to promote a system-wide adoption of digital solutions. But oftentimes we think, digital is a solution for everything.
Yeah.
But actually, the IT part is the relatively easier part. A lot of work from our side goes into figuring out the governance, institutional setups, data sharing and exchange amongst institutions, basically creating an ecosystem, institutional setup for the digital to adapt. I mean, digital solutions often reflects the way institutions behave, right? So we have to work on that behavior of institutions
So
first.
cool.
Yes, and we have a social innovation lab, Chitra Lab, which is hybrid between Prime Minister's office and UNDP. So it's very uniquely positioned to pull different institutions together and look at the system as a whole.
And you've mentioned Siabok. We both attended the launch by the president of the new anti-corruption policy. He sent very strong messages to public servants, to the population about anti-corruption. What's UNDP's role with Siabok? What is it that we're helping them with?
So SIABO plays a very important role in coordinating institutions and making sure that the National Action Plan is implemented in a holistic way. So we support the building of the capabilities of existing officers, but the incoming officers, so strengthening of the SIABOC as the key institution. And digitalization of their processes is one way so that the people who also lodge the cases can follow the cases. We're going to be launching a case management system very soon, which is very catalytic. E-asset declarations, everything is digitized to help them improve their efficiencies.
For public servants, for
Yes, and people with public profiles, the law demands disclosure of their assets.
important.
Yes, so digitalization would be a game changer for them. We also work with other institutions that have anti-corruption mandate, like Procurement Commission, Judiciary, I talked about that. Um, and the public. In the next phase of our anti-corruption program, we'll be moving more into working with students, youth clubs, private sector, and raising awareness around the new law and their roles and responsibilities in, again, cultivating a culture of integrity and preventing corruption altogether. And also capacity building amongst the public servants. And, this issue of smaller scale petty corruption, I hear you, it's not easy to tackle. It has to be accompanied by digitalization of service provision and also overall public sector reform, isn't it? So it's a process. And I'm sure if you have a collective vision, like outlined in this National Action Plan, as a society, we can move forward, but it's not easy.
Yeah, and certainly this is, and I certainly hope this is going to be at the heart of your program for many years to come. So, well, thank you, Azusa. It's really great to have the opportunity to have this chat, and I hope this is the first of many. And especially, we thought this is a good moment to do so, as we are celebrating 70 years of Sri Lanka's membership to the United Nations, but also 80 years of this great organization. And so, thank you so much for being part of this conversation.
Thank you so much. I think it's also symbolic to have this conversation in front of the Independence Square, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, to maintain peace, stability, and also have hope for the future. I think the UN has been with Sri Lanka and people of Sri Lanka through difficult times and good times.